comments, if anybody sees this hating on me, that's what I need, is people to hate on me. And not many people will watch this, though. But, it's funny. It's funny. Life is pretty funny, and it makes me wonder if, like, we're kind of like topped out of where we can go. That's kind of what I feel in this life. Um, I guess, so going 2 weeks ago, a month ago, there was a ton of jobs available. Well, I'm not going to be going into like a job that is because I'm uneducated and I'm stupid. Like, I'm being told constantly how dumb I am, how low IQ I am by people on the internet. And that's fine. Like, you can think that, and people have their own opinions. I didn't go to college. I didn't. It's hard for me to learn sometimes because I'm dyslexic. But yeah, I would have, I could have accomplished something in college for sure. My dad did. He's dyslexic, and he got a degree in engineering. So, like, for the people who think I'm stupid, I guess you're right. I guess I am stupid. So you guys can hate on me. I'm ugly, stupid, dumb. I'll say it again. Dumb, dumb, dumb. I don't talk right. I don't have I'm not charismatic. But it's so funny. This life is so funny. I think I've been humbled enough in this life. I think I have, man. And I don't see people that deserve to be humbled get humbled. And that's the frustrating part of this game of life is, I've gotten pretty far without, asking God for help. I try not to ask anybody else for help. I try to, like, do things on my own. And I guess I was wrong. I guess this whole tariff thing, I was wrong, you liberals. I was wrong. So what's gonna happen for me, since I'm gonna go live with my mommy, which that is not something that should be sustained long term, because it's I don't need to talk about. I'm not gonna talk about my personal, it's nobody's business. But yeah, it's like it's very welcoming. Everyone wants us there. But the situation isn't going to be long lasting because there's not enough space, and going looking and seeing that no one's hiring, and that no one's hiring here either. Okay, what am I supposed to do? I want to work. My plan was last month, I was like, I ain't got nothing to do this month. I don't care about writing a book. I can write a book. I've done it. But, like, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about this. Which I understand. Why should people care about this? But, yeah, I was, like, smoking weed last month, and I thought to myself, I'm going to enjoy this, because guess what? I'm just going to work my butt off and try to get myself out of debt. Working multiple jobs. I'm not really going to worry about anything else. I'm just going to worry about working. Like, I don't care about the gym, trying to maintain that. I don't care about that. I'm just going to focus all of my attention on working 7 days a week as much as I possibly can, but apparently there's no jobs. I guess not even fast food jobs. Or maybe there are, but they just don't want me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because of my resume is so extensive that I have had all these different jobs, which I would look at that as, as an employer, I would look at, this guy's pretty diverse, and he's probably got a lot of different skills, and, it's not like I got like 100 jobs with I only lasted a couple months. But my resume is pretty solid, I think. Um, and I worked at a lot of these different places for at least a year. And given the maybe it's all a bunch of stuff that I heard off the internet that is fake, is um, people switching jobs so much. Maybe that was all fake. Maybe nobody switched jobs. Maybe I was the only one doing it. And and they look at me because I'm old, but you don't have the age. I do find it weird on these applications how they ask what race you are. I think that's kind of weird. Why do they care about what race I am? Why do they care about if I'm a veteran? Like every single one of these, they ask you if you're a veteran or what your race is. That just seems weird. Like, aren't we? Who cares about my race? What, I'm here to work. Like, what does it matter? Like, every single job, they want to know what race you are. That's so weird to me. Male, female, like, okay, I get that. There's certain jobs that most women just can't do physically, so I get that. But like, what? Why are they worried about what race I am? Who cares? Am I a legal citizen? That's all should really matter, not what skin color I am. But that's how it is. And a lot of these jobs, oh man, they're like, it's so frustrating too. Because I go on to Indeed. This is how I search for jobs. And I like to do the automatic resume. My resume is already on there, dude. You can see everything. I got a profile. I don't want to go make a password, make a username on their website, and then put in all my information that I already have up on the internet that they can see already. I have no problem doing that if I'm like gonna get hired. But like, if everything is already on the internet for them to see, why do they need me to go into their website, which is a lot of their websites are just horrible, man. Especially like if you use your mobile phone, which I don't really use a computer at all for the internet. I've always, for the longest time, just used a mobile, and like, I kind of think it's weird that people are using. When I hear somebody's using a computer for Twitter, I'm kind of like, what? It's weird. But anyway, yeah, like their websites are just horrible. It crashes, and then it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm signing up because it's not like I'm like, it's my dream job. I'm doing this because I need the money. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm signing up to be some professional athlete or something. It's like, yeah, it's not like I'm signing up to be a YouTuber that gets paid a ton of money from some company that's going to sponsor me. No, I'm signing up to do work that nobody wants to do. Nobody has. What kid in their dreams are like, I want to just grow up and be a forklift driver? Yeah, it's maybe they're like, yeah, it'd be cool to drive it a little bit, but nobody wants to be a forklift driver for the rest of their life. Nobody's like, I want to be a Taco Bell cashier. These jobs act like they're like prestigious jobs or something that everybody. I guess they have that right because we don't have any jobs. I mean, that's all I can say is we just don't have any jobs. I feel like I made a lot of good choices in my life. I feel like it's a good choice for me to leave Michigan and go where I'm going. I mean, I got family. I got a couple of friends. That's more than I have here, besides my kid, which I hardly ever get to see because I might as well just live in a different state, honestly. So I don't have anything here at all. There's nothing here. What it feels like, this is what it feels like, and I know I'm just complaining, whatever. What it feels like, being a old man, a middle-aged man who I definitely can manage people, but I've supervised people before, but I can do the work too. I don't like to just sit in an office. I like to get out there with people and do what they're doing, unlike a lot of people in our society. And then that's what kind of baffles me, though. Why do I always have to be humbled? I'm always humbled, and I'm just like tired of just being humbled. I am humbled. There's not much more humbling a person can do in my position. It's just kind of like, God, lay off. Go pick on them. What do you want from me? Do you want me to be completely homeless? Okay, fine. You know, like, okay, my position, here's my position. I don't have any student loan debt. I don't have a mortgage. I do have a car payment. Do have that. And then I have just credit card debt on top of that. You know? And I got assets. And if I sold all my assets, I wouldn't be able to pay off all my debt. I would probably come somewhat close, but given the circumstances we're in right now, why the hell would I pay it all off when I don't have a stable job? It's just like, I'm going to keep on, I'll keep on, selling my assets. Hopefully they don't go to zero, but it could possibly go to zero. And right now I'm not, but I see it in the future. I want to work because there's nothing else that in this life that's I can do at this point. I don't find video games interesting. I think they're all repetitive and boring at this point. The console ones, it's the same games. It's just the same games, and I'm just done with them. There's no, you hear about this AI, like Sam's Club. Here's a new thing, Sam's Club. They're doing away with cashiers, which I've always hated going and talking to a cashier. I've never liked it. I never enjoyed that experience. That's cool if other people like to do that, but I've always looked at it like a nuisance, man. Like, they hate their job, it's awkward. And it's just like, I don't like the surface level conversation. Like, how you doing? Oh, you gotta try to come up with, and it's like awkward. And how's your day? Like, they don't care about how my day is. Chances are I'm never gonna see them again. And I don't wish nothing bad, but it's like, it's not a relationship that's gonna. It's such a low surface relationship that I just don't really care about. So when the self-checkout came out, I was like, hell yeah, man. So a lot of people don't like that. They're like, oh, you're doing work now. Well, I don't have to talk to somebody that doesn't. Well, when they first came out, no one used them that much, so there was no lines. I hate waiting. Waiting in lines is such a nuisance to me. I despise waiting in lines. That's why I don't even want to go to amusement parks. The rides are cool, but waiting 2 hours for like 90-second thrill is just not something that I think is very fun. But a lot of people do. So, in this society, there's nothing for entertainment. I'm not gonna sit at my mom's and do nothing if there's no jobs. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm gonna have to move on with myself. If the plan is there was supposed to be a lot of jobs there. Okay, hold on. Back to the Sam's Club. Yeah, they're doing away with the cashiers, which is cool. So I guess they have an AI technology where I don't know if you scan things when you pick them up, or when you walk through, it just like the AI just knows whatever they're doing. I'm sure this technology was eventually going to come out anyway. But yeah, you don't really have to go through the cashier process, and just makes things, you pick up and go pretty much. And that sounds amazing, you know what I mean? Just pick up and then maybe you go bag your stuff or whatever. Um, probably get some boxes and who knows, and just go bag it in your car. Who knows? But yeah, that's less jobs, which is cool because those jobs suck anyway. But yeah, so what are we supposed to do though? So somebody in my position, even if I wanted to, I'm not going to get Section 8 housing. Even though I'm a single man whose kids are grown, and they're not going to give me shit. I'm an able-bodied person. I shouldn't have to rely on the government anyway. But, I guess I can hate Trump for this. There's no jobs, man. So I've come to the point in my life where I'm done fighting. I don't know. I'm done fighting. I'll just be poor. Like, where I'm at and where I've been at is rich poor. That's where I've been at. Or like poor middle class, like the bottom of the barrel. And I've been like teetering on that, fighting to stay in that position for ever since like I decided to get my life together and get my GED, quit smoking weed, and get a real job. And and I've done pretty well. I've worked at a lot of different places. I've never been fired. Whenever I leave my job, I usually give 2 weeks notice. This last job I didn't. Unfortunate circumstances. I let my points get too high, and I got sick, and lost my job. Can't collect unemployment, can't do nothing. So yeah, there's no jobs here. I'm an able-bodied person who wants to work because I'm not smoking weed. Oh, I would have loved to smoke weed. Like right now it'd be amazing. I would love to smoke. Not right this second because I got a lot of stuff to do, but I like to smoke weed. It chills me out. And it dumbs me down, which dumbing me down is good because like, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but my IQ is, I've tested it, and it is like 117, the highest. And the average person has like 100 IQ, so like, it is hard for me to connect with people sometimes. Not only that, it's just like introvert or whatever. But yeah, I do like to dumb myself down. My mind, it helps relax my mind. I kind of just like, I could kind of like just be like everybody else, and I can actually be interested in stuff like that's out here. I would have more interest in like playing watching the same movie over and over again, listening to the same songs, listening to or watching the same playing the same game over and over. If I was at least high, but I'm not. So, but there's no jobs. And I think it's kind of hilarious. I think it's hilarious. So like, I guess what's the point? What's the point of keeping my assets? And, I got to sell off my assets. I got to sell off my Bitcoin, and then I'll have to pay the capital gains tax on it. I don't have a job, but I'm gonna have to pay capital gains tax on my assets. It's so hilarious. Okay, tax somebody who has nothing. I'm just looking at things, and it's just like, people can sit here and judge. Write your comments, judge me, please judge me. You probably won't ever be humbled. You've probably never been humbled if you want to judge people like that. Yeah, my own decisions put me in here, and my own decisions have got me to this place in life. I mean, I've made it this far in life, middle age, and I'm not dead. You know, a lot of people in my position, especially men, they ended up killing themselves for these types of things. Lack of purpose. Women don't really care if you're alive. Society doesn't care if you're alive. Or a lot of people turn to drugs and alcohol to escape the reality, because reality is just like so boring. And not only that, it's just like when you work hard, you should be able to get somewhere. And in my experience for the last 27 years of being a employee to the federal government, basically partial employee, I guess you can say, you know, maybe I haven't what they say, like, people in my position don't pay taxes. It's all the rich people that pay taxes. I pay taxes in some way, whether it's inflation or sales tax or any of that, you know. I think it's kind of funny how you buy something, pay tax on it, and then you sell it and you have to pay tax. What? Okay. Taxing someone who has nothing is kind of funny. And, you know, I don't know. This whole financial system is so out of date. It really is. It's like we're hanging on to something that should be let go, and something, and we have nothing else we're going on to. You know, and that's the thing, is like, crypto honestly isn't there to, it'll be there at some point, but like, Bitcoin's too slow to do daily transactions. You don't want to, you know, and I don't want to go too much into crypto, but our financial system is like, my bank's only open from 9 to 5. We got AI that can handle a lot of things, and we're still using people. Like, how often do you guys actually go to the bank? I mean, do you even get checks? I mean, I haven't got a check from an employer in like forever, man. It's been like 20 years. I don't know. I haven't gone to the bank and like turned in a check in forever, unless it's like, and not even if like somebody writes me a check, you know what I mean? Like you get a check for like family, like they want to send you something. You don't even have to go to the bank. You can just use your phone. I don't need the bank. I don't understand, unless like I'm opening an account or withdrawing. I mean, like, think about it. If you hypothetically had $200,000 in your bank account, and you're like, I want to close this bank out. I want to close this account out. Man, you're not going to go there and get your $200,000. No, they have to order that money, because they don't have that. Because our money is fake. And it's like, everything's so fake. It's fake, man. It's not backed by anything. They print as much out as they want. So, what is there, like $2 trillion in actual money that's actually in circulation? Something like that, like, of actual money that's printed. This stuff's a joke, man. I mean, it doesn't really apply to me because I'm poor, but it's just kind of funny for people like to have, you know, that hypothetical situation, that other people do have that situation if they do, you know, go into it. But yeah, there's no safety nets in this. I've said this in my past video. There's no safety nets. There's no communities. People fall on hard times, and we have learned nothing from the 2008 recession, where people lost their jobs and ended up having to go homeless. We've learned nothing. So it's either you're rat race, you're stuck in the rat race, or you go on the street, you bum. Well, it's not my fault I lost my job. I showed up and I did everything the right way. Oh, just because you know, the economy was ran like shit, and other people didn't do their jobs properly, and then they get bailouts from the government, so they get saved, but you don't. There's people that lost their jobs in 2008, and they ended up on the street. And we have learned nothing from that. We've done nothing. Even the people on the right, like, what communities are you setting up? You know, we should be setting up like communities, places where people can go if they fall on financial hard times. It's kind of like, there's like two old people that I was watching off of 78, no, like 83 and 73. A man and a woman try to, like, they rob banks. This just happened because they have nothing. Their Social Security doesn't pay for their living. And we're supposed to keep this system going forward. Like, if you know, that says that, like, that says right there how degenerate our society is. If old people feel like they have to go, elderly people have to go and rob banks. You know, I almost feel like, might as well just put me in prison, dude. You know, what? At least I get 3 meals. I mean, I don't want to be in prison, but the rat race does feel like prison. Tell me it doesn't. Tell me you do your job and it feels like the same day. It feels like kind of like Groundhog's Day. You just do the same, you know, same thing over and over. Very repetitive. And I understand we need these jobs, but I don't know. I'm to the point where obviously I made some pretty good financial choices for them to, my credit score was okay. My credit score, because they went based off of how much money I had at the bank, and the highest my credit score was like 680, and I think that was pretty good for the position I was at, taking on like from my debt to income ratio. But yeah, I was wrong about Bitcoin. It looks like I was wrong about gold. So gold's killing it, and Bitcoin is, I guess, it's going up. But here's the thing: is why are those going up right now? Is because of the devaluation of the dollar. Now, I'm not an expert, okay? I guess like some types of some things were being sold off from China, and our currency got devalued even more not too long ago, like last week or something. So you're seeing gold at an all-time high every single day. Every single day is an all-time high right now. And Bitcoin is like going up. Silver is doing good. It's because of the devaluation of the dollar. So, okay, isn't this funny too? Let's say you buy gold right now. What is it, like almost $3,500? And they print more money out. Usually gold and silver, traditionally, it's a hedge against inflation. You really don't make money off of it. But if you sell, you have to pay capital gains tax on that, even though like they devalued the currency by printing out more of it, and that's why it is more valuable. If they stop printing out money, you know, wouldn't it just like maintain? Maybe I'm wrong, dude. I'm not an expert. Obviously, I'm pretty dumb. That's what I'm told all the time, is I'm stupid. I'm a stupid redneck that doesn't know anything. I don't know shit. Not even a redneck. Some aspects, I guess you could say I'm white trash, but yeah, I think it's kind of hilarious, this whole situation. And you know, I'm kind of like, God, if you want me to go bankrupt, you want me to go bankrupt. I just don't care at this point. I can't afford to buy a house anyway. You know, like, it sucks if I don't have the money to buy a car. Like, I have a car payment and stuff I'm paying on, and it's so funny, man. Like, I'm looking at places where I can try to get a place to stay, and like, oh, you need to have this much credit score. I get it, but there's no looking at like the past. They just look at the credit score. And the credit score doesn't even count for anything. It doesn't account for, like, you've been paying rent. You know, maybe you've been renting. Well, They don't look at your ledger. They don't look at any of that. They don't look like, well, this guy has been paying on time all the time. You know? How many bankruptcies has this person had? No, they just look at what the credit score is right now, and they're like, oh, this guy sucks. You know, like, dude, I guess I'm the only one going through financial hardship at this point, where I decided to consolidate my credit card loans. And what that is basically you just stop paying, and some third party like starts negotiating the debt to buy the debt, and then they go ahead and like do that. And I mean, I could have done that myself, honestly, but I got duped. I got duped because I wanted to try to find a shortcut. Try to help me. Like, no, you can't. God's like, no, you can't have any shortcuts. You've already, you need to continue to suffer. Okay, well, all these doors are closed, man. Like, seriously, like, there's no jobs here, no opportunity. Now, what it looks like what I'm going into is, no jobs there too. Okay, I mean, I can, you know, I can be okay for selling all my assets off and be okay, you know, until my mom kicks me out, I guess, and probably like a month. No, she won't kick me out, but it's not a good situation for us to go there and stay there long term, because there's a lot of people already living there. So it's not something that, you know, my plan was gonna get a couple jobs, just work my butt off. There's nothing else for me to do anyway, so I might as well just work hard and not really worry about working out and going to the gym. And it's not like it's so funny, I gotta pay for my own gym membership, and then I gotta pay for think about this system. I gotta pay for my own gym membership to keep me healthy, to keep me active, and I gotta pay a weekly premium on health insurance, which I don't have. I had it last year. I had health insurance last year, but I gotta pay a weekly premium on health insurance. Okay, then you gotta pay for every single doctor visit. You gotta pay like $100 in copay for every doctor visit, and then a huge deductible. And I don't care what anybody says, the low deductible is unsustainable for most people anyway at my level. It doesn't, like, my deductible, if I would have stayed on the same plan and I was still working at the same place, the deductible went from like $9,000 to like 13 grand in 1 year. What? They literally don't want to pay for shit. I remember before Obamacare, and I don't know if it's Obamacare's fault, but before Obamacare came in, you know, I pay my weekly premium, and that was it. I actually had a hernia surgery, and I had to pay for nothing. So, I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke, man. People can't survive in this place. I don't know how people are making. I don't know how people, honestly, I don't know how people aren't like destroying everything at this point. But, you know, maybe it's not like what I perceive it to be. Maybe this only affects me, and everybody else is, you know, hunky-dory and they're fine, and you know, it's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly normal to pay, you know, $60 or $80 a week on health insurance, and then having to pay $100 deductible for whatever doctor's visit you go to, and then have to serve a deductible that takes a quarter of your yearly salary before they'll want to pay for shit. Maybe that's just normal. Maybe I'm just a complainer. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just a complainer. Work harder. You know, I made a video talking to like these rich people telling me, or when I say me, I feel like I represent the working class, okay? Nobody represents the working class. I feel like I represent the working class because I'm in the fucking working class. But to have rich people tell us, go to the gym when we're like, dude, what do you want? I'm putting like so much energy to chasing the dollar to survive. And you're going to tell me to work harder, go to the gym now? It's easy for these people that don't have to work regular jobs to tell you to go to the gym, because not only do you have to live your regular life, you know, you can't pay people like servants to do your job, like live your life for you. Like, they don't have to do their own laundry. They don't have to grocery. They don't have to do none of that. We have to do all that. We have to commute. Like, you know, me commuting to work, it should be a part of my, you know, that should be a part of my job. That should be a part of my benefits. Like, I don't want to pay to commute to work anymore. I think commuting to work is work, and I don't get paid for that. These companies don't want to do nothing. They just, and you know what they're doing right now? Honestly, like, nobody's hiring, and there is a demand. There is a demand. What's up, Josh? And right now it's like, I don't know, like in the 50s. It's in the morning, so that's why it's kind of cold. But yeah, it's thanks for stopping by though, man. It's cool. Josh, check him out. Josh from the Swamp 666. He's got a pretty cool channel. Yeah. It's like, I've complained about this in a lot of my videos in the past. I've complained about it, and I'm not trying. I don't want to be a complainer. That's not that. I just want things to change for the better. And I just, like I said, I don't understand how people are just we're just continuing with this. I guess we're just going to continue. There are some things that's happening that's good. That gives me hope. You know, that you know, this is where I'm at. I'm just like, okay, God, if you want me to have nothing, if you don't want me to help lift anybody else up, so be it. I mean, that's what I want to help lift people up. I mean, I can't. I literally can't. So if God doesn't want me to help people, to lift people up, God, whatever, then I guess so be it. I mean, that's something that I would like to, not just like, oh, here's money. No, just like, you know, some people need a little extra help. I mean, that's what it is. And then people, here's the crazy thing is, the people who are rich, who would see this video, even the people who I like Tim Pool, like, oh, just lace up your bootstraps and get out there and work harder. Like, okay, yeah, I agree. But, and it's just like, they're like, well, you live so much, you live better than kings back in the past. The only difference between, I don't live better than kings, okay? That is something that is false. That's a lie. The only thing that's better nowadays than back when kings, you know, back in the day, that I'm better at is, I do have access, if I have to go to the hospital to get taken care of, and, you know, probably not going to die from one of these diseases like they had back in the past. You know, it's a little bit better with like cures. And I'm not anti-vax, man, even though I didn't get the one in 2021 and I'm still alive. I'm not anti-vax, you know. I'm all vaccinated up. My kids got vaccinated up, you know, their childhood vaccinations, and, you know, measles and smallpox, and, you know, those ones are cool. But that's the only thing that's different. I just got done watching Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette was a pretty good movie. I was hoping that they would have more about the revolution. They didn't really show her being beheaded or anything like that. You know, it would have been cool for them to add that into the story, but it was kind of like a lollipop. They even had some like new type of music, and it's kind of whatever. But yeah, the rich people back then, they lived way better than than I do. Like, I don't want to hear that. Rich, like, kings and queens lived a trillion times better than I do. oh, you got access to technology or whatever, like, and, okay, well, I'm poor. So, like, I can't go nowhere. So, yeah, they had to go in horse and carriage, and it would take longer to go long distances and whatever. And for me, if I have the opportunity to use that, yeah. But, you know, who, who in my position, lower bottom of the barrel middle class, or rich poverty level, actually can go and do things? Or are you more worried about like saving all your money because you don't know what the future is? So you're like not going and doing things. Some people are like, have thrown things on the credit card, like going to different for vacation sites, is dropping like $4,000 for a vacation. Some people still do that. But for the average person, like, how are you spending your money like that? Are you being irresponsible like that? I just don't think so. I just think it's kind of like we're to the point where it feels like a prison, where we go to work and then we just go home and that's it, because we really can't afford to do anything else. Maybe I'm just a extreme minority. Maybe that's what it is. When I'm hearing but I hear different statistics. Maybe they're wrong. They say that like we have 1.3 trillion in credit card debt as a nation. I've heard over 60% of people can't even come up with $1,000. Like 50% can't even come up with $400. Like, people are like living like this. Like, half of our population is living like this, where they can't even come up with $400 for an expense. Like, how is this? How are we not having a French style revolution at this point? That baffles me. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm just saying, like, this system, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I don't care who's in charge, if it was a Republican or a Democrat. They both have failed, and maybe it was meant to fail anyway. You know what I mean? I know people have it way worse than me in this world. Like, I'm not stupid. I only got 16% more on my phone. I have to cut this off. But I understand people have it way worse. I've seen some people in the Saharan desert, like, marching through it, trying to get to Europe, and like, they're sleeping in the sand, and like, just like horrible conditions that people are in right now, for sure. Like, I can be like stuck in in the complete darkness. Was it like there's like 13 miles of underground, like, cave? Like, I could be stuck in complete darkness in a cave, and I'm just stuck there. Like, that's scary as hell, man. You don't know where to go. You can't. Yeah, I know people have it's just like they just take the worst situation, like, oh, you have, of course, and so do you. But like, I guarantee you, if you were in my situation, you'd be like, what? I'm fighting. It's nowhere. I'm not getting nowhere. It doesn't matter how hard I fight. I'm getting nowhere, and that's what it feels like. It might as well just be communism at this point. That's what it kind of feels like, where it's just, it doesn't matter how hard I work. At the end of the day, I'm in the same place I was before. So it kind of feels like communism, man. And yes, if you kill yourself, you might be able to, not literally, but if you kill yourself working hard, you might be. Who wants to work 80 hours a week though? You know what I mean? For what though? I don't care about possessions. I don't care. I just want to have a place to, a place in my to rest my head, security, a nice safe place to be, so I don't have to worry about, having always like watch my back. I don't want to go live somewhere where people hate me because of my skin color and I have to worry about constant drama or being killed. Who does? Nobody wants to live in that situation. The people that make it out of that situation don't ever go back there. You know, I'd rather just end my life than live in that situation. But I guess I'm gonna have to cut this off because I don't have enough battery. So y'all take it easy, anybody that's watched this.